You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel.
We present Double Act by Trisha Bracher with Juliet Vaughan-Turner, Holly Galanders and Ian Sterling.
Yes? Oh, more cocoa. Oh, without cocoa. How will I ever sleep? I bet she doesn't drink cocoa. I hardly knew where I was for a moment. At last I am a character in one of my own silly stories. Waking up I know not where, about to say I know not what.
Breakfast call, Mum.
Breakfast?
You asked for an early morning wake-up, Mrs. Shepherd.
I did.
You said you had urgent business. In Leeds.
Leeds! Yes! Oh, would you step in for a moment?
You're still in all your clothes.
I fell asleep doing the crossword. Terrible tease, the cryptic. A strange, fashionable romance. Murder, I suppose. 5 words. 3, 4 and 5 across, 6 and 7 down.
I like to start with the easy clues.
So Fred is soft on Ginger?
I try not to pry.
But supposing Ginger had thrown a teapot at Fred, might he forgive her?
A teapot?
In a rage, in a moment's misery, if she had suspected him of favouring another...
You haven't seen Fred. He's a smashing fella, honest. But he talks to a woman like she's a bedside cabinet. Ginger's off to London to record a song. Big fella down there's written for her, special.
Supposing they had been stepping out.
That's a lot of supposing.
Oh, imagine it, Nan. Picture an alternative scene. What else should shield us from the dullness of life?
Too deep for me.
Well, he had courted her, romanced her, made his case so forcefully that she had turned away from any number of other men who had likewise wanted to marry her. Men of whom her mother had approved.
You're not saying Fred's the type of fella...
Of course, her mother may have been misguided.
You're saying Fred and Ginger are wed, and he's taken a shine to another lass, and Ginger's found out about it, and chucked a teapot at him.
In a rage, a moment's misery.
He'd duck.
And then?
He'd forgive her. What's a teapot between friends?
Friends! Yes, friends, exactly. Sweethearts must be friends as well. Friends before everything. Then everything can be understood and forgiven. To comprendre, c'est tout pardonner.
Unless it were a regular occurrence.
Perhaps once a year.
Well, that's more like an anniversary. So what about this bus you're catching?
Yes.
I've got beds to make.
Then you must make them, I suppose.
Oh, don't forget your purse.
I don't think I shall venture out today.
Weather's rotten for it.
You suspect it might snow?
Anything's possible up here. I suppose the south's positively tropical.
May I have a Turkish bath?
Very good. Ginger had one. Said it were like being lost in a dream.
Yes, that sounds preferable.
I'll let the doctor know. He'll be...
A man?
It's a medical procedure, Mum.
Perhaps I might have a bath in here. You could help.
He Rubs fork?
Perhaps just my neck, which is so dreadfully tight, from all the writing, you see.
It'll have to be after I finish.
Then I shall certainly stay in. Perhaps complete the crossword.
Breakfast's in the Etruscan room. Chef's first eggs are best.
He must be awake by now, with the dog at the foot of our bed, as he is apt to be. My little faithful friend, looking upon my unrested sheets, leaping up and pawing at them for want of warmth. Or he will be waking up with her, his arm around her miraculous waist. They will be sad for me for just a moment, staging for each other's audience a passing sigh, and then clutching at each other for joy of their freedom. For is not all life the same as change? Are we not all taken by tides and swells? Might there be a firmer anchor, one upon which, like faith, we might rely? Perhaps some scrambled eggs. I shall face the world, armed with only newspapers and pen. Yes?
Turkish bath, Mum.
You're wearing a white coat. I trust you're not intending to remove anything vital.
Doctor says I've to look official. Will you make yourself comfortable, please?
There won't be any removal of clothes.
Oh, I don't want to get your cardigan oily. Please, sit down. Nothing to worry about. I'm fully trained. Let's have that cardi off.
How one suffers.
And your blouse, please.
Then I'll just be in my thermals.
I've seen it all before.
There are theatres in London that have been closed for revealing less.
You're headed for the Arctic Circle, then?
Does the bus go from here?
You're very tense. Try to relax.
I'm putting a brave face on this.
I'm looking to get out of hospitality. Been making beds since I was 12. Seen enough linen to last me a lifetime. Been waiting for a man, against mother's advice. Waiting for a man to come and take care of me. I reckon it'll be the other way round. Uncle's living proof. But I'm getting a bit too long in the tooth.
Oh, you are still perfectly youthful, Nan. 27?
29? When mother were my age, she'd had me and me brothers.
When I was a girl, I used to rush around on roller skates. Used to race up the pier. Can you imagine? 20 miles an hour and nothing between you and terra firma but 4 tiny wheels.
I should like very much to fly an aeroplane, like the fellas in the war. I don't suppose a Yorkshire lass will ever take to the air.
Perhaps you would like to train as a nurse.
More hospital corners. I should like very much to be the elderly bookish sister of a vicar or a doctor. Plenty of money and no bother with the cleaning. Or the sister of a pilot. Then I should get to have fun, but with none of the romantic side effects.
Very wise.
And I should not be turned down for my lack of curls and a bit of grey at the temples.
It's very hard, is it not, to grow old with one's dignity intact?
The folk here seem to be having a right royal time.
Maybe youth is overrated.
I should like to have enjoyed mine a bit more.
Then there are no beaux at all.
Beaux? We don't get them in Yorkshire. There were one fella. Wanted to marry me. Bit of money, nice part of Whitby. He'd sit in the drawing room all evening listening to Mozart. If I'd wanted to marry me uncle, I'd have said so.
You are quite scandalous now.
When I get half a chance. I do read the newspapers. There's a terrible hullabaloo in Surrey.
It's normally such a sedate county.
Seems a lady novelist has gone missing.
They are known for their intemperate behaviour.
Her car was found on a country lane.
Oh, perhaps she went for a walk, looking for inspiration or some such.
Gypsies telling tales of a woman wandering late at night. Police reckon she's a goner in the lake.
Oh, how melodramatic. Your uncle never took a wife?
He had a few goes at fiancés. Nobody met his domestic standards. Couples are lining up the old man for the gallows.
I'm sorry.
The husband, down in Surrey. They're dredging the lake. Got hundreds of people out searching for evidence. Lovely Maurice Cowley, arrayed into a chalk pit.
Then why is the husband under investigation?
Oh, he's slippery.
In what way?
He's just slippery.
Well, you're not saying he did it.
Oh, no. She's still alive.
Is that what people think?
They've had clairvoyance in. Reckon she's living as a man.
A man?
I've seen the pictures in all the papers. Her with glasses, her with a wig.
They seem to be going to an awful lot of trouble. Press, I mean.
I'd never heard of her before. I think she's famous now. See, you can't just disappear. Not these days. Everyone's a detective. You seem to like that sort of lark yourself.
How do you mean?
Them books, on your bed. Vicars and doctors running round country houses solving silly murders.
As if there were not enough mystery in one's own life.
You came here by train.
Yes, it was awfully...
How did you get up to London then?
Do you really have the gift, Nan?
No, but I keep my eyes open. Just like Mother.
I drove a little way from home and parked the car. I'd not intended for it to fall so far. I do regret the damage to the old girl. You forgive me, Nan?
It's not me as dishes out the mercy.
I am not jealous of her.
The other lass is not a looker then.
She's a typist and an amateur golfer. They play together, walking round windswept, godforsaken patches of grass, knocking rock-hard balls into tiny little holes as if their very lives depended on it.
So he's not so dead as you said he was.
Oh, you must forgive me. If you hate me too...
If I'd not overlooked the matter of a small deception, do you think I'd still be here? Giving you a half-ways decent Turkish bath?
Nan, you are good and kind.
Into each life a little fancy must fall.
Then what am I to do?
What had you planned to do?
Planned? Oh, I'd not really planned.
And you, a lady novelist? I should have thought you'd be at it morning, noon and night. Plotting, I mean.
I had not supposed myself yet entirely fictional. I imagine that my husband might have found me by now.
Though he is romancing a young lady golfer. Did your mother not know about his proclivities?
Mother was not fully fond of him.
So he was the one you set your heart on?
Oh, it was not as simple as that. Truly. He was the type of chap with whom one might dash about the world. Type of chap who would not look surprised to see a female on roller skates.
Though now he has become a plodder towards the 18th hole.
He is older, certainly, as am I.
The war did for him.
The war did for a lot of fellows. We were happy enough. Happy enough, I thought.
But he didn't like finding you on the shelf in the lending library.
He did not balk at spending the money.
It was very wicked of you not to share and share alike. It was very wicked of him not to take your hand and smile at you sometimes. Did you really think he'd be chasing up after you?
We had talked about coming to take the cure. I suppose he might be in for a small shock. I left the car near the cottage where he stays with her.
To make him look like the villain.
To make him feel something. What am I going to do, Nan?
You could take the train home and say you've had... what is it? An attack of amnesia.
I had thought of that.
When you weren't doing all your plotting.
I have a little dog at home. Poor thing is probably pining.
Well, your husband forgets to stroke him and smile at him sometimes.
Oh, he was not always a cruel man, just careless.